it's Reagan, and today I'm here with a very, very exciting haul video because, my friends, I went shopping. Not exaggerating, these are all the books I picked up. It's a really heavy bag that I had to bring on the subway. I went book shopping at my favorite place on the planet, Barnes & Noble, and I'm really excited to be partnering with them for this video. This haul is in honor of their epic sale that they're having right now, the BN Book Haul Blowout, where basically they've selected hundreds of books, new releases, and bestsellers to basically be up to 50% off. Yes, you heard that right. I got so many amazing books at such a good deal. The sale is absolutely incredible, and it's running through the 4th of March. I'll leave all the information for the sale down below. If you're interested, definitely check it out. I'm not kidding when I say this sale is truly epic. Before I jump into the books that I picked up, I wanted to quickly highlight two books that are currently 50% off that I already own because they're faves of mine. One of them being The Black Prism by Brent Weeks, and then the newly released Wicked King by Holly Black. I mean, come on. So the strategy I had when picking up books for this haul was I wanted to get a combination of books that I was highly anticipating or have had my eye on for a long time, and new books that just kind of like caught my eye at the bookstore. I personally love doing that when I'm like shopping in person because you kind of have time to like peruse and read all the dust jackets. It's my favorite thing. But the first book I got, I literally squealed when I saw it, and it shouldn't be a surprise when I say, when I found the 7th book of the Keeper of the Lost City series, Flashback, on sale, it was a sigh. I've been reading one book a month since December. I'm currently on the 4th one, so when I saw the newly released 7th one at such a good price, I could not say no. I now only need to pick up one more book to have all of the books out in hardcover for this series. But this is an incredible middle grade series following our main character Sophie, who in the first one basically finds out that she is an elf. Her whole life she has been kind of hiding her own magical abilities, but when she discovers she is an elf, she realizes she's not alone. She's transported to a new world. She goes to a magic school and she makes all sorts of new friends, but she also finds herself in the middle of a very big mystery and all sorts of different secret societies and all these different groups trying to overthrow the order of the elven world. It's such a good series. I have been loving each one I've picked up, so to have found a book that I was going to buy in like the next couple days at such a good price, it was a real winner. And it's just so beautiful. Next up, I picked up The Sisters of the Winterwood by Rena Rosnier. First and foremost, this is a signed copy, and this just sounds like the dark fairy tale fantasy novel I always love to read and always need more on hand. Catchline of this book is there are many types of love, but there is nothing like a sister. This book mixes like fairy tale magic and history, which obviously is one of my favorite combinations. And this is a story that follows two sisters, Lyaba and Leia, and they live in a remote village on the border between Moldova and Ukraine, surrounded by the stories of their grandmother and the prayers of their mother. However, one day when a troop of mysterious men arrive in the village and Leia kind of falls underneath their spell, the sisters quickly realize danger is not just lurking in the dark woods that surround their home, and from there they basically have to confront a dark power and a dark threat that's threatening the ones they love and everyone around them. Again, dark fairy tale, sisterly love, historical fantasy. It's my favorite thing. And it's a signed copy, so pumped. The next book is a book I've actually never heard of before, and that is The Forgotten Book. And this is a YA fantasy mystery surrounding across this like magical book. And we follow our main character, Emma, who goes to this very prestigious boarding school, and her father is actually the headmaster there. Her life is going quite well, honestly. She has a strong group of friends. She's doing well in school. Her life really changes when she finds this old mysterious book in the library, in which she writes things in it, and they come true. Once she discovers this mysterious dark power, things begin to get weird around her, and a lot of people are after her and the book itself. And she also runs into a very mysterious and aloof boy, which just sounds like the YA romance I always need in my life. So this just sounded really interesting. Really love that it had a boarding school setting with a magical book and, you know, hopefully like a love to hate romance. Next up was another really exciting find, and that is The Wizards of Once Twice Magic, which is the sequel to The Wizards of Once. This is super exciting because I read this last year and really loved it. It is a middle grade series following two main characters from different clans that have a lot of animosity towards each other, the warriors and the wizards, and they have been fighting for centuries to basically destroy each other. The first one follows a girl and a boy from each of these clans kind of meeting and joining forces to try to save their own world. It's also full of incredible, super cool illustrations, and this is by the same author who wrote How to Train Your Dragon. I really loved the first one. I'm very, very, very excited to have the second one to see where the story takes off. It's just this really dark, charming, and honestly a pretty witty story, and again, the illustrations are so cool, so glad to have gotten the sequel for such a good price. Next is a book that came out, I want to say last year, and was a novel that was on my most anticipated, and I just for some reason didn't pick it up. So when I saw it for an on sale price, I could not say no, and that is The Disasters by M.K. England, and this is just kind of like a space opera but drama, and it's a story that follows a bunch of misfits and quite frankly sounds hilarious. And this follows our main character Nax, who basically is notorious at making terrible life decisions. He's a great pilot, but honestly he's not very surprised when he gets kicked out of an elite pilot school in less than 24 hours. When he's on a ship with a one-way ticket back to Earth, him and 3 other washouts from this academy basically witness an attack on this elite school, and they're the only survivors. Unfortunately, no one believes them, and they have become the perfect scapegoats to this crime. And now we find Nax and the 3 other characters on the run from a bunch of aristocrats across space and time, and it just, again, sounds hilarious, full of really great space adventure. I love pilot stories, so I'm hoping this is just really funny and really entertaining, so very excited to have this. The next book I picked up was A Secret History of Witches by Louisa Morgan, and this is another book that I hadn't actually heard of until I stumbled across it in Barnes & Noble. I read the synopsis and it immediately hooked me. It's basically a sweeping historical saga that follows 5 generations of mothers and daughters and witches, and chronicles their magical inheritance and how it's both a gift and can often be a curse as well. This just sounds really cool. One, I love family dramas and family sagas. It's a literary device that I always find to be very entertaining and interesting. I also really like that this feels like it has a historical element to it as well. It is a fantasy novel, it is talking about witches, but it's really putting it in more of a historical lens and the impact of magic on these women's lives. It has really amazing reviews as well. It just sounds different from the type of fantasy I normally read, so when I saw it, I just really gravitated toward it, so I'm really excited to have this in my collection. Next book I picked up was Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield, and this is another book that has kind of been on my to-buy list for a long time, so again, on sale, could not say no. And the thing that hooked me about this story, besides the beautiful cover, was this line right here. It says, 3 girls missing, 1 is returned, a story begins. And this book takes place on one dark midwinter night in an ancient inn on the River Thames, and all the regulars there are telling stories into the dark hours of the night when a mysterious stranger kind of turns up on the doorstep, and in his arms is a little girl who magically comes back to life. And basically all the regulars are trying to uncover how this is possible. Was it magic? Is it science? Is it something else entirely? So everyone together is trying to solve this mystery and this puzzle, and it just sounds really intriguing. Again, combining a lot of my favorite elements in fantasy, the historical setting, but also this sort of like eerie, dark one-night mystery kind of just very much appeals to me. I am very excited for this, so I'm hoping it's as good as I feel like in my heart it can be. And the last book I picked up was a real gem because it is one of my most anticipated books of 2019, so to find it on sale was just top notch, and that is Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevre. This is Robin Lefevre's newest release, and I am a big fan of her previous novels. She writes really dark, female-centered, assassin-centered fantasy novels, and they're just so good. And this is actually set in the same world as her original series and follows one of those characters just a few years later. So all of Robin Lefevre's books are set kind of in the medieval ages, and you follow a group of girls who basically are sent to this convent where they're trained by Death to be assassins. In this story, we follow Sabella, who has always been Death's right-hand woman. However, she is sent on a new and unexpected mission that really tests her powers and her like abilities. And that mission is to go to France in a bid to try to save her sister, but as she integrates herself in French court politics, she kind of loses sight of who she is. And so she's struggling with maintaining her own training and her own goals throughout this entire story. I've heard really good things about it. Obviously, being a fan of Robin Lefebvre's makes me excited to pick up this novel, but more than that, dark female-centered assassin story is just something that sounds so entertaining and feels like something I really want to pick up soon. Yeah, I just love dark fantasy. I love females kicking butt. It's just something I always like to read. What can I say? Alrighty guys, those are all of the books I picked up from the Barnes & Noble book haul sale. Again, I will leave all sale information down below, and if you guys end up picking anything up, be sure to share your book haul on social media using the below hashtag. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye!